Timotab, and today I'm going to solve Creatures in the Fog by Bridget. If you would like to try this puzzle yourself, it'll be the first link in the description. Let's have a look at the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply, but strange things are afoot. So normal Sudoku rules means we're going to place the digits 1 to 9 once each in every row, every column, and every box. Creatures of the night have invaded the land. Each row, column, and box contains one creature marked by a coloured dot. All creatures are marked. So we're going to have 9 creatures in the grid, and there can only be one in any given column, any given row, or any given box. Cells containing a creature index either the row, column, or box number, read in normal reading order that they're placed in. Each number assigned to a creature is unique and cannot be repeated. So, first of all, the row numbers are going to be 1, 2, and 3. That's normal. Column numbers will be 1, 2, and 3, and so on. And the box numbers will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Okay. The cells containing a creature index that row, column, or box number. So this cell, because it has a creature in it, actually I'm going to pick this cell. If this cell had a creature in it, then it is in row 5, column 5, and box 5, so it would have to be a 5. That's the only valid digit if that were a creature digit. I didn't want to do that one because I don't want to start solving just yet. Okay, zombies, which are marked by a green dot. Zombies have an infectious bite. The orthogonally adjacent cells are even when the zombies number is even, or odd when the zombies number is odd. So those 5 cells are either all even or all odd. Poltergeists, marked by a grey dot. They throw everything into disarray. Orthogonally adjacent cells are either all higher or all lower than the poltergeist's number. So those 3 cells are either all higher or all lower than that one. Headless horseman, marked by an orange dot. Let's throw one there. Horsemen have a knight's reach. Cells a chess knight's move away from the horseman can't contain the same digit as the horseman's number. So that would mean that if that center cell were a horseman, then none of the orange X's could be the same digit. Okay. Vampires are marked with a red dot. Vampires suck the power from their victims. Orthogonally adjacent cells sum to the vampire's number. So if that were the case, then this circle would be the sum of the 4 X's. Okay. Fog. The land is covered in fog. Putting in correct digits will lift the fog. No guessing is required. The monster under your bed will know if you cheat. Love, Bridget. All right. That's all the rules. I am going to restart the puzzle to reset the timer, and let's begin. Okay. These digits are either all even or all odd. These, well, actually, this is in column 2. It's in row 4 and box 4. So that is either 2 or 4. Aha! So these must be all even digits, because that can only be an even digit. I'm not going to colour, because I probably want colouring to mark where potential creatures go. So those are 2, 4, 6, and 8. Let's put them as centre marks. This one, these are either all even or all odd, but there are only 4 even digits in Sudoku, and so they can't be all even, they must be all odd. By the rule of the digits allowable in a creature cell, this is row 8 and column 8 and box 9. So if that's an odd cell, that has to be a 9. Very nice. That makes these 1, 3, 5, and 7. Let's get that correct. We got a 2 there, so those are 4, 6, and 8. Okay. This cell here is it's row 6, box 6, column 9, but it can't be a 9, so that must be a 6. Okay, so those two are not 6s. That is a 6. That 4 makes that 8, and that is 4. This is grey, which is a poltergeist, and all digits must be either smaller or larger than the grey cell. They're orthogonal digits. So, orthogonally adjacent to digits. So, given that 8 is larger than 6, these must be from 7, 8, and 9. They can't be 7, so they must be 8 and 9, and we can tell the order. Okay. This 7 has removed 7 from those cells. Okay, so we have a 9 in one of those 3. We also have a creature in one of those 3 that is not the 9. We also have an 8 in one of those 3 by Sudoku. We have a 6 in one of those. Let's try that. Corner mark. So this, one of those is a 2. Yes. 2 can't be in any of those, so one of those is a 2. That removes a 2 from there, making that a 4. So none of those are 4. In fact, none of those are 2s. So that's a 6-8 pair, making this a 2. And we have a 6 in one of those 3. And an 8 in one of those 3. Okay. We have a 2 down here in one of those 2 by Sudoku. Okay. We have a 2 in one of those 3. All right, what is our next deduction? Is the question. I know that we have some kind of creature in there. I know that we have some kind of creature in there. Ah. Okay. So the creature that's here can't be the 8 or the 9 because none of these cells can be an 8 or a 9. This cell could be 1, 3, or 7. That could be 2, 3, or 7, and that could be 3 or 7. Though that can't be 2, 3, or 7 because that's... So those two could be 3 or 7, and that could be 1, 3, or 7. Okay. The digit here can't be 6 or 8 because these cells are column 4, column 5, and column 6, but 4 and 6 have gone, and they're in row 5 and in box 5. So they're actually, that's 5, 6, 8. And whichever one is the actual creature will be a 5. So we've used our 5 up. So these 3 digits are now, actually, let's take out the corner marks, make it a little clearer. 1, 3, and 4. So this has to be a 4. This is a 1, 3 pair. These 3 digits are 5, 7, and 9. This is not the creature. So let's remove that, and therefore it's not a 5 because we know the creature is going to be a 5 in this box. This 3 looks down here. That removes that 3 there. Okay. So the value for this creature is 1 if it's the row, or 2 if it's the row, which it can't be, or 3 if it's the row, which it can't be. It can't be the box number because none of them can be a 3. But it could be the column number, which would be 7. So it's either this as a 1 or any of them as a 7. And that means that the other 2 digits will be 8 and 9. So where does 5 go in this column? 5 is definitely not in one of those. It can't be here, so it must be there. That's a 5. Aha! Let us do some tidying up there. That's a 1, 3 pair now, making that a 7. And so now we know that this is 7, 8, 9. Because we need to have a 7 up there by Sudoku. That makes this a 1. And this is a 2, 5 pair. Let us fill in some stuff for Sudoku so that we can see if that will help us. This is 1, 7, 9. And this is 2, 3, 4. And that one's not a 4. Okay. Vampire, I think, was red. Yes, red dot. Vampires suck the power from their victims. Orthogonally adjacent cells add up to the vampire's number. Okay. So the minimum that this can be is a 2 and a 1, I think. Yeah, so that would make that 5. But it can't be 6. It can't be 5 because we know the 5 is there. It can't be 6. We know that the 7 is in one of these 3. So that has to be an 8. Okay, so that means that these two digits add up to 6 because we already have 2 here. They can't be 2, 4 because of this 4, so they must be 1, 5, and then that 5 tells us the order. This is a very nice puzzle. This 3 is 1 and 3 here. This 1 is looking up. This 8 is looking up. That's a 6. That makes that a 5, 8 pair. But we can see that this is not the creature cell. So that is, and that is an orange 5. So let's mark digits that can't be a 5. Okay, none of those cells can be a 5. That otherwise could have been. Okay, so I can remove a 5 from there. That's an 8. We already can't have 5 there by Sudoku. Five is in one of those 3. Okay, so we have what numbers are we missing for creatures? We have 2, 5, 6. One of those is 7, 8, and 9. So we have, wait, not 2, 5, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 1, 2, and 3 are our remaining creatures. And we need a creature in this box, which isn't going to be the 2 creature. We need a creature in this box and a creature in this box. Okay. That is not a 3. All right. Eight is in one of these 3 cells. 5 is in one of these 2 because of that headless horseman. We have a 4 in one of these 3, but in fact, yes, 4 is not in that one. Okay, 6 is not in those 2, so 6 must be there, and that puts 6 into one of these 3. In fact, these 3 are 6, 7, 9. That means that 9 and 7 are in these 2 cells, and these 2 must be 2 and 6. That means that that is not a 2, and that one is. Okay, and we can clearly see that that's not a 5. So this is 5 and 1 in these 2 cells. I'm going to remove that X because we've removed the 5 from there. I'll leave that there to remind me I can't put a 5 there. Okay, so these are 4, 8, and 3. And then that one is not 4. Okay. So our creature in this box is by Sudoku one of these 3 cells, but clearly not that one, or that one because all creatures are marked. So this must be a creature. And we know that the only digits available for creatures now are 1, 2, and 3. So that has to be a 1. And that is a poltergeist. Well, all of the digits are going to be larger than a 1. So we can put the 5 in there. So that means that we need a 2 and a 3. We can't have a 2 creature in this box because we already have a 2 there. By Sudoku, the creature goes in one of those 3, and by the fact that that's clearly not 1, it's in one of those 2, and one of those is a 3 because it can't be the 2. We're going to have the 2 creature in this box. And 3 is in the correct column. So 2 is going to be anywhere in this box because that's box 2. Well, clearly not those. But that 3 resolves our 1 and 3 here. That puts a 1 into one of those 2. Okay, so we know nothing about where, well, that's not quite true. We do know that it goes into this column by Sudoku. So it must be in one of those 2. That removes 2 as a candidate there. That makes that a 6 and that a 2. That is now a 4, 3, and 2 there. Okay. One of those is going to be a 7. Do I know which yet? Yes, I do. Because I have a 3, which is going to be a creature in one of those 2. And I have a 2, which is going to be a creature in one of those 2. So where does the creature go in this row? It has to go here. So let's remove those markings, and we can place a 7 right there. That's very, very nice. So that has to be an odd number to go because of the zombie making all digits that are orthogonally adjacent to be the same parity. That cannot be a 6. That could be a 5. So these 2 digits are odd. This sees 1, 9, 3, and 7, so that must be a 5. That makes that a 2 and that a 5. This sees 1, 7, and 5, so that's 3 or 9. Okay, these 2 digits are 2 and 3, so we can place the 2 there and the 3 there, which makes this a 9. This is 7. That is a 1-9 pair. This one is looking over here. That's not a 1, and that one is. That gives us a horseman, which we know is a 3. This is a 2, because that's the last remaining creature. So they all have to be either below 2 or above 2. They can't all be below 2, so they must all be above 2. That is important because that means that none of those can be a 1, That can't be a 1, so that's a 1. Making this a 9, and this a 1. That makes this 7 and this 9. Okay. These are 6 and 4. I don't think I know the order of that yet. Right, 3 does not go into any of those. Nor that one. Nor that one. That's a 3. Making that 5. This is 6 or 8 or 5. No. 6, 8 or 4 for the completing the row. But it can't be a 6 or an 8. So that's a 4. That makes this 6 or 8. Okay, so these 3 digits are 4, 5, 7. And that one's not a 5. So that's a 6 and that's a 4. This digit must be an 8. We need 6 and 7 to complete the box, which we can do. All right. So we have a 3 there and we have a 6, 8 there. That makes that 4. So that isn't. That 3 is looking down. That makes that 8 and that 3. This 4 is looking up. That is 7. That 7 is looking down. That's a 9. 7 and 9 makes that 6, which makes that 8. 6 and 8, and a 6 there. 4 in this column must be there, giving me a 5 here. This now must be a 5 for a column. That's a 7 and a 9, making that a 7. And there we go. Happy Halloween. That was certainly a fun Halloween puzzle. I really enjoyed it. Some very clever bits to give you information as to where digits go, even when they're under the fog. Really enjoyed that. So, okay, well, if you enjoyed this solve, then please hit the like button. You can subscribe to see some more, and I would love to hear comments. I'm looking forward to next time. Be seeing you.